Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Wow, that's the first thing he says. My head is bigger than his head. He says that.
It's not a bad thing now.
When somebody calls you big head, everybody knows you're not more intelligent than me.
Really?
So you're now saying that my head is big
Never
big for nothing.
intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I want
Right.
to do a quick reminder.
Okay, I just did mine. What is this thing? You're writing? Okay.
Welcome to all your friends and your loved ones. It's time. See here. Oops, it's not here. What I'm saying there is people say that your wife can't depend.
Yeah, I depend.
People say that your
I
wife
think I
can't
just want to get this check for whether we're doing everything. Let me go and do it.
No, don't worry.
Okay, so welcome. I wish so. What? Okay, this is where I see
Comments, yeah.
comments and all. Hi, let me know you guys are here. Tell your friends, family members, sisters, or family members, sisters, and brothers. Hi, Favor. Good to see you.
Yeah, and Dakara Favor, she's always following us, and she's a big fan of this page.
Love you, girl. Thanks for joining in.
Favor, share the link, tell your friends. It's great to have you here with us. It's gonna be a remarkable night.
Yeah. Okay, so while he goes to get up a second chair, you have me for now.
You know what I'm
So we
saying?
have what?
It's really a great seat.
Okay, so I didn't actually like ask people questions. And what my husband doesn't know is that I'm actually going to ask him questions. Thanks, Favor. I'm actually going to ask him questions I haven't discussed with him before. So yeah, he'll have to answer. But if you have any other question, hi Uche, keep my secrets. Well, Uche, there was something I totally forgot to do in the video, and I don't even know how. But yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to ask Pastor Dami some questions on the spot, almost brutal questions. Okay, not brutal. But if you have any questions to ask, hi, Obi, thanks for joining in. If you have any questions to ask about us in particular, not just now marriage in general, which is good, or relationships in general, but if you have questions to ask about us, that's what we're here for. So our journey over the last 6 years, or 12 years if you really will, since friendship and courtship and everything. So if you have any question you want me to ask P-Dams, or you want P-Dams to ask me, as the case may be, write it, and we will answer it. It's more about you guys than us tonight. Okay. While you're writing yours, let me finish writing mine. Oh, hi, Tariella. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining in. So I was just saying that. Hi, Nabara. Thanks for joining in. I was just telling them that tonight is really more about you guys. So apart from asking general relationship and marriage questions, which I've interacted with most of you about, you can ask me questions about my marriage or my husband or myself and ask him the same. I'm going to be asking him some very hot questions myself. You know, hot, but just like exposing questions, right? So I'm trying to complete my questions. If you have any questions you want to ask us directly, yeah, I'm happy to answer that. Let me say thank you. I'm going to wait till he comes, but we'll do it again when he comes. Thank you very much for all the love you guys showed on our anniversary. It was really special. It was really sweet. It was really thoughtful. Thank you guys so much. Very, very, very grateful. Very grateful. Thank you for the love. Right. Hi, Ore. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hi. Hi, Toby. Good to see you too. Okay, I wish my husband to come more. Thank you, Ore. Oh no, it was here. The first time it came on, we hadn't figured out something, so we had to cut it off. And then it was supposed to be 7 o'clock before, but I forgot I had a discipleship class, so it has to move it back to 8. Or move it forward to 8. Hi, Kewe. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, now the husband is back. Oh, you need to take it down a bit. First of all, you called me big head. Now I said I'm too short, so I'm still on the higher chair. Are we wondering what kind of chair we have? Okay. Why do you want? Okay, now I think this should even be my first question.
Wow, welcome guys. Gonna say hello to you. Dr. Azubix.
Yes, you can't call me Miss Pregnant anymore.
Tariela Sayefa, it's good to see you. Nabara Daily, welcome. Orolua Shomi, welcome. Morayo Okesha.
I taught Morayo in Temple.
Wow.
Now she's all big and getting all the scholarships and grants in the world.
Oh, that's amazing.
So what do you? My husband always wants me to sit on his left. I'm using your right. On his right hand, and I'm like, why? So that's my first question to you. Why must I sit on your right side? All this.
I've said it now.
My right hand of strength, so he will protect me.
Yes.
Is God not carrying you in his own right hand? So if God is carrying you, I'm carried. It's okay. Sit down, yeah.
No, you just see, because another thing is that this one is higher actually.
And so we'll elevate the laptop. Right? How about that? I don't get it. Why did you just push me?
See, it's still gonna come ahead.
Why did you just open? This will not be hot. Okay. All right.
The framing is not good.
In terms of what?
My head.
Yeah, you still have headroom. You have like an inch of headroom.
No, that's because I'm consciously sitting like this. I want to sit. I'll sit like this.
So let's lift this up. Okay, come and sit down.
Part of it is.
But my face now is dark here.
Mind.
You've heard your grandma do this too, Abby. I don't even just get. I'm like, what difference does
So
it
did you ever
make?
ask?
We are together. We are one in the spirit.
Good to see y'all.
So
Yeah, it's better.
okay.
He's actually better, to be honest. And then even the female in the family already, you know.
That's a new
She
one.
wants his right hand to favor. That's it.
What if the guy is not left-handed? If the guy is not left-handed,
It doesn't matter now.
Or if the guy is amputated in his right hand. Which one is God forbid? There are people who are married that are amputated now. They're not part of the sitting game.
We don't pray for anybody.
Like Nick Vijay, what's his name?
He didn't have any hands in the first place.
That's the point.
Don't worry, those people, they work out some live with themselves.
Hi, Antoinette. Good
Antoinette.
to see you.
Antoinette.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Welcome, guys. My name is Dami and this is my beautiful, gorgeous, fabulous, amazing, stunningly, ravishingly beautiful.
Toju-Loving.
So some of you have been following. In fact, let's start off this way. First of all, thank you so much for jumping on this. Today is Tuesday night. People just resumed work in many parts of the world. Like yesterday, somebody knew yesterday, they wanted to test the ground. So they went today. So maybe you've been in traffic, had a long day at work, whatever. Different things have happened, and you're here, and we're so grateful to have you here with us. So welcome. We're waving.
Thanks for joining in.
Do you want a cup of water?
It's Rabina, actually.
A mug of milk.
It's empty, actually.
It's your cash. I never all that.
That's what me.
So you guys are really welcome. That's one. Number two is we know that some of you have been following us for a couple of years. So please put in the comment box the number of years you've been following us. Like when we put out the anniversary picture. Some people like,
I'm following you.
I was in year 3.
Of course,
I was making the rounds. Somebody said I was still in university. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 6 years. So you just tell us in the comment box, and we're going to read, because we want it to be so interactive today. Part of why we're making it live, and we'll possibly do more of this. I don't know, maybe once a month or something like that. Part of what we're making it live is that we want to be able to speak to where you are, to be as interactive as possible, and to just give you the opportunity to connect with us and bond. And so that based on the things since 2016, that's 4 years. Wow. That means that someone was just born that would be in primary school. 4
years ago. I don't know, my husband thinks people go to primary school at 4. It's 5 or
4.
6. No, now.
This is son going to primary school.
He's not going to primary school. He's going to reception.
We're going to receive him into primary school. All right, so let's have a bit more responses.
I thank them for the anniversary post and
yes, thank you.
Yeah, and then I also said I want them to ask questions, not just about marriage and relationships per se, but about us, as in me and you, and about there's something in your eye, but I don't know how to get it out. Can you see it?
I think I can feel it, but I don't know if I can see it.
Okay, so
someone said 1 year.
Okay.
She came in 2017. That's already 3 years. Kewe Ndakara
sister. Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, but I also said I was going to ask you personal questions as well.
But I've known PDAM since I was 8.
So
you're 19. Oh my God! Are you serious? See, I'm old. As in all these people that tell me that I was 8, so I said, I think this is the youngest I've seen.
The one you saw before was 13?
9 or 10. So it was in primary school.
Okay, wow.
But I met quite a bit of 13 and all. Oh! My goodness.
Sorry for you both. I'm watching Loving and Living from last year, but I think I've watched all the videos from the previous years.
Wow.
Love you, girl.
In fact, anyway, let's see how this goes, because we might, if we do the monthly thing, might then do giveaways.
Oh.
Things, books, products.
Okay.
You know, like someone who's watched all the videos deserves a gift. In fact, let me give. Have you bought my wife's book?
Antoinette is my girl.
She bought
it. She hasn't, but she's got all my audios. Nigeria, though, are you? Remind me, I'm not in Nigeria.
If she's not in Nigeria, she'll pay for shipping.
I'm working. Am I supposed to say the other part of what I'm working on? E-parts.
You could soon. It will be out soon.
Okay. So. Okay, I don't think you're in Nigeria, but I'm working on my ebook. So I have the ebook now. I'm trying to upload it up onto
on
an e-library,
Kindle, iTunes, all of that.
Yeah, so you can have that available to read if you're not in the country, if you're not in Lagos at the moment, because I'm not delivering outside of Lagos now. So by God's grace, in the next 1 week maximum, I will have an e-copy of my book 0 to 10 out, so you can read. What? Amen. That's a prophecy. My book is going to become audio very soon.
Someone said first year. Started watching since your first year anniversary. Sorry. So that's 5 years.
Really? Wow.
And then Uche has been following us for I started watching
6 years.
6 years.
Oh,
amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. All right. Great. So I think we should get started with you and your questions. I'm hoping that we can well, we're hoping we could be here for a long time, but the budget at the time is 1 hour.
1 hour, yes.
Yeah. So talk to us. What do you want to know?
Oh yes, Antoinette, I did. But I'm finally getting to it. I'm actually done with it. I just need to upload it onto the e-store.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, if you haven't got my wife's book, I was gonna say you're wrong, but that's
I was thinking the
cruise.
same thing.
But you should really get it, not just for yourself, get it for your community, your sisters, your brothers, people around in your world, especially ladies, but not limited to that. Well, to me as well.
Honestly speaking, I think most people here
already have it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
people
but just
that
in
know
case
in
people
Nigeria.
that go watch this after now.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. So get it. All right. So I want to ask. We'll just make you fluid. But the first thing is, what do you guys want to know? Ask your questions, because typically when we come online, we already have things that we've planned to share, and for our videos, they're mostly pre-recorded. Now they're all videos are pre-recorded, the ones we've done. So this is actually the very first time we're having a live transmission. So tell us, what do you want to know in the comment box? What are your thoughts? What are your, just things that are on your heart, and you're like, okay, today I'm gonna get off my chest, that kind of stuff.
Anything. But let me start it off by asking you that: are you impressed if you're married? Absolutely. I don't know if impressed is the word, but are you impressed?
Absolutely. As in, like, I feel like God just blessed me in every way.
Are you sure you're not saying this because you're an optimistic person generally?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying it because it's true.
Okay.
I'm telling you, yeah. Like, no, for real, I am, because, like I mentioned, I think it was on Sunday, I hinted that there was just one area of my life that I was concerned about. I think every other area I sorted them out long ago, or at least I made very strong moves to say, okay, finances, let me figure it out. And for me, it's not about having all the money. It's just having enough sense or structure to be able to say, okay, when I need something, I know how to plan for it. Okay, so that one, career, I already knew ministry, and I knew I wanted to do personal development, consulting and coaching and all of that. So that was sorted. What other thing? Health. Very, very intentional about what I eat and what I drink and what I...
Apart from that season where he was binging on pure bliss.
Yeah. Relationships. I'm still looking out for more comments, actually. Relationships. I've been very intentional about relationships as well. I don't have so many friends, but the people that I connect with, I really connect with them. Are cool. So the only area that I was like, and I guess part of it was also maybe cultural or environmental. Like, you have to be careful. If you married wrong, that's the end of your ministry. And then there are all the stories
pressure,
yeah, and there are all the stories about how this person was very anointed and gifted, and
then married somebody and everything went down. Everything went down.
Yeah. So I'm grateful to God, that I married you. Excuse me, and that you were not fake. As what I mean by you're not fake is like you're not pretending to what you're not, because people can actually pretend through dating, courtship, whatever you choose to call it. That process before you get married, and then after that, Kenneth, we see your heart.
Hi,
love
Kenneth.
You too. Yeah, so people can literally pretend, but you didn't pretend. You're who you are. So I've never come to a point where
I say I am.
Excuse me. I've never come to a point where I felt like, wow, this girl actually just deceived me.
Hi, Miriam. Oh,
okay, that's a good question.
How do you guys measure growth in your... Okay,
my throat's almost started going hoarse.
Because you spoke for about 2 hours.
Actually. We get up 7:30.
Wow, 3 hours before this. TV just start for you.
What's the wrapping up at 6:38?
What's going on?
I started wrapping up at 6:38.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'm happy to hear. But have I always been like this? Have I ever stressed you out? What's been the most stressful?
In a way, no. But I think we covered that in one of the videos earlier. Excuse me. I don't know why my throat is going. You know, some people they say that when you start lying, that's it. Like your voice will start going. Like your voice will start appearing. So that's not what's happening now. So there was a time where I felt like you were unduly finicky. That's the word. Yeah.
Touchy about.
Yes, about certain things.
Like I used to get angry, or upset. Or what do you mean by
angry, upset, like small, maybe like small correction or misstep on my part, oversight. And then it's like this very yammerous. Excuse me. When I say yammerous, yammerous is Y-A-M.
How do you explain yammerous in English?
That's like yam. You know, yam, like
strong,
extra, that kind of thing. Yeah, so, but it wasn't a long, it must have been the first year, maybe a little bit into the second year. And maybe just
wow.
bits.
Hey.
When I say tiny bits, trace amount, negligible, literally. So for me, it was just an issue of, okay, how quickly do you get over issues?
Okay, I think that was the main thing. How quickly do I get over issues?
But if you're dealing with that, it's good. It's better for you to deal with that. It's better for you to be like that and show yourself to be like that than to pretend that everything is fine. Because what happens, people don't get past that. I think that what happens in many relationships and marriages is people literally pretend their way into trouble. Oh, that's good. Bridge. Yeah. So you're not being yourself. And
but does that mean you should now intentionally go into your marriage with bad behavior?
Not necessarily, but if you have bad behavior, let them see it early enough so that they know what they're dealing with.
I think
it's like having a car. It's like in all those like public transportation. If you're traveling, maybe like from Lagos to Ilorin or Lagos to Benin or whatever, and then the car starts giving signs when you're about to get into redemption camp or like Berga, if you're leaving Lagos, areas that are close to Lagos, right? And then it starts jerking or something. What happens? People go like, driver, let me come down now because this car, go feel rich. But sometimes the driver will be like, don't worry, I know my car. That's where they be. We will get to Benin today. Now, when this happens, like again, this as well, when the car now breaks down at Ife or somewhere, and the car like dead of the night, the person who stays in that car would be like, God,
I should have come down, or I should have insisted that we found a mechanic earlier.
Exactly. So there are certain telltale signs that show up early in your relationship that will let you know that, okay, it's not always a case of let me jump down. It could be a case of this is the only car available. I'm going on this car, but I'm going to call 5 of my friends. Now, if you don't hear from me,
to save your rescue, it just means, I think it's what I now know. Okay, I need to now go into, when I say management mode, I don't mean manage the marriage, but manage the situation and manage the person properly and navigate it towards the person out of it, and so that it's not something that will affect the joy and the peace of your marriage in the long run.
Yeah,
I think at that time I was just sensitive, really. Sorry, I will not do it again.
And what I would say is that thank God that you are not God, because it was like that. You will be crying blood.
You're making me sound so okay.
No, I'm just joking. You're not. You're sweet.
But it also helped you learn how to apologize better, baby me better,
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
okay, so how do we measure growth in our relationship? I think an easy way, once in a while, my husband will just ask me from nowhere, so do I still do XYZ anymore? And I'm like, thinking about it too. You've changed 3 out of 3 over 4. Then he'll ask, so what can I do to be better?
Yeah.
And then I'll let him know. It's usually just spontaneous sometimes. I mean, it's good for it to be intentional. If you want to say, okay, every 3 months or every other week or something, that's fine as well.
Yeah. There was a time we tried our best to be faithful to the quarterly review, remember?
Yeah, we used to do that.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a meeting with pen and paper.
Yeah, so if you can still do that, that's great. But generally, as life gets fuller and easier, like if you ever introduce me to the game, is easier, fuller and more tasking and more demanding, then you have to learn to do it on the go. And for me, I think the key thing is just be honest. If you don't like something, I don't like this. Of course, you can say it in different ways. Chip it in that way. And if you don't have enough potatoes, you can use yam for the chips. You can use yam for the chips. What else can you use? Plantain for the chips. Oh, yeah, I just want microchips the other day. I can use microchips. Yeah, but be sincere and let the other person really express how they feel. Because I think, like, for me, long-term relationships, a big part of it is, if you want to be in the same space with somebody, you can't be. Why would you pretend? Even if you pretend, just know that issue will still come up later. And Antoinette is laughing.
Hi, Shaya.
Shaya, Bizzle. It will still come up later. If it's a lifelong or like long-term thing, work, business, stuff have to be dealt with. And I think that one of the things people should learn is, for things like marriage, ministry, long-term career, it's not always going to be clean cut. It's not always going to be cookie cutter size. There will be disappointments. There will be, I thought this or that. There might even be, I didn't tell you this because I thought you'd be disappointed or embarrassed or ashamed or whatever. All those things are part of the game. And I think that sometimes, and I used to tell my wife this a long time ago, that I felt like she had what I used to call an unrealistic
check the good mentality. I still don't get it till tomorrow.
No, but this is what I'm saying. As an aspire, expected everything to fit into, even when you say like this nice cabinet, everything fits into the mold, right? When the guy was designed, or rather when I designed it, and the guy was cutting it, they literally have to cut. They have to shave things away. They have to grate. There's a lot of noise. Guys.
It's not that I was expecting things to be perfect. I was working towards things being perfect.
But anytime it did not align as soon as you wanted it.
And now, when this cabinet
I also was working out for things. I was not happy, but I was not burning the whole place with.
So that's the other side.
Yeah,
that's the other side.
All through that time, it wasn't as if I had things I couldn't complain about.
Which you did complain about.
Yes. In a different way, and never as frequently, and never as.
So that's not the other side, because one side of it is people are like, they say you can't change a person, so just allow the person be. And so they're thinking, but this is wrong, this is making me uncomfortable, this is making me unhappy, so should I not talk? Should I just wait till he or she gets the message himself? You must find a way to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So whether you want to call it influence the person or change the person or whatever you like, but the person must improve, the person must become better, as long as it's going to be beneficial to them and beneficial to the relationship.
Absolutely. That's why you're there. The person must be better.
The one that they say who he is who he is.
That's also true. But in this context, see, if you don't believe that your presence in somebody's life can make them better, can help them become better, then why are you there? That's the overall.
But sometimes it's, especially, let me speak for ladies, especially when they see the person as a leader and somebody that they like, and the person may be older, more mature, more exposed, and the person is just a certain type of way in one area, but that area is really not good, but it's so nice and so good into that area. They're like, okay, should we just manage? Or the person change eventually, and then it becomes difficult to have that conversation with the person. I think,
let me tell you what the honest truth about this. This is what I mean by things are not always cookie cut. Communicate your issues right here. Dairy! This is what as you grow and as you work with people, not you, I'm saying generally, as we all grow and work with people, what will become clear to you is that you cannot fix people.
Yeah.
What you can do is that you can be in a position where you allow them see for themselves that I've come to a point of helplessness concerning a certain matter. And therefore, they empower you either directly or indirectly to play the role you were designed to play in their lives. Now, I'm not talking about incremental growth on what they're already doing well. I'm saying where there are gaps. So two things there. Number one is some of those gaps in their lives, you were designed to help them understand and to grow into. But in every real long-lasting relationship, there's going to be at least one or half an area where that person will not get better, will not improve, and they are not supposed to. Why? Because that gap is the space you were sent in their lives to help them feel. That's something that I've come to conclude in almost every category of relationship. It doesn't make the person bad. It doesn't make the person evil. It just means that for that relationship to maintain its tensility or its ductility or its malleability or its, I'm using all those words, it's riveting effect, right? That gap is just like when God, for those who read the Bible, it said that God gave me a thorn and said a messenger of, is it a messenger of sorrow or something, to buffet me. And I cried to the Lord different times and it said, my grace is sufficient for you, right? Jesus, the Bible says in the days of his flesh, he cried with tears and will is until he does it to deliver him from death. And that one did not deliver him. That's God. So, of course, I'm not saying this is a case of someone's always angry. No, I'm not talking about that.
I was just going to say that you choose your gap very well.
Not like that.
Because I really and truly, ladies, you have the upper hand, especially when you are causing
That's the thing about
the man you get
relationships.
So don't get married.
Men and women, you choose. The man makes the proposition, the woman accepts it or declines it. You know. So, but what I'm saying is, I don't want people to get a utopian perspective of marriage. It's just like Christ and the church. Isn't Christ perfect? Is the church perfect?
But I think it helps. It helps in terms, still speaking in terms of measurement and dealing with issues. It helps if you go into the marriage first of all with a good person, with God in it, and also with the intentionality that you're going to be friends. You're going to enjoy yourselves. You're going to put your best foot forward at all times. So most of the time we're cool, we're fine, we're enjoying ourselves.
99%, a 98%, a 96%,
1%, 1% of enjoyable marriages, right? So even when those things come, there's enough buffering, there's enough joy, there's enough enjoyment. So it doesn't strike any deep, painful chord.
Yeah.
So where are we?
I'm not. It's so on. So.
Yeah, sorry, I'm off the screen. Okay.
I was trying to share it.
Right. Yeah. So we have that nice friendship going on. So it's easy to now talk about things when the issues come up.
Absolutely.
Right. But most in general, right now, our measurement is spontaneous. And we tried much as possible to actually take into consideration what the person has said. The person has said, I really don't like when you do X, Y, Z. Or I'd like it if you do X, Y, Z. For the happiness and the joy of the relationship, because you have committed yourself to this person, it makes perfect sense that you should actually try to do what the person likes or don't do what the person doesn't like. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to ask you another question.
All right, if you're just joining us, if you're just joining us or you were connected to this, please ask your questions. Choose your gap. Absolutely. Ask your questions in the comment box and we will be with you.
Okay, so people say often that marriage is hard work. And we really emphasize sometimes you see some people saying it's preachers or motivational speakers or whatever. Marriage is hard work. It is work. You have to work at it. Because it now sounds like, hey, exam. It feels scary. It feels like a lot. So I would rather say it's a lot of intentional work. So sometimes I feel maybe that's where you say I have a textbook mentality because I don't see it as work. Maybe I just don't want to see it that way. I
think it's more like
that. I don't have to face work. I don't want my marriage to feel like
I think it's
work.
the way you've redefined it because the truth of the matter is marriage is work. Because see what you have done in the last 4 weeks of this lockdown.
Hi, Kende.
Everything is connected to marriage. Everything, homekeeping, supporting in the ministry, taking care of children, is all work. It's all part of the marriage as work. If you see it as just this, then you'd be like, okay, well, it's not so much work, even though this is also work, right? Yeah, your goal, anything that is going to be fruitful or maximized, you have to work at it. Jesus Christ is still working on the church. Says that. So what I'm saying is, it's not supposed to be toil. That's a different thing. It's not supposed to be laborious. It's not supposed to be, oh my God, I'm about to die. Sorry guys, I'm looking at my phone because I'm monitoring quite a number of things, but I'm with you, right? I'm about to. It's not supposed to be that, but it is work. Now, work is not bad because Jesus said, "I'm working. My Father is still working." It's just to
Yeah, but
present.
they say it's hard work.
Hard work is good now, but it's not toil.
Okay.
But it's because the truth is, if you're not working on your relationship, if you're not working hard at it, you're not getting the most of it. That's why, for me, I'm not saying you're not working hard at it. I'm just saying that you've decided to redefine it.
Yeah.
Because for you to get the most out of anything, including the perfect, don't forget the Garden of Eden was perfect. God was one that planted, so it was perfect. But God said, work it. Because work means that more of that perfection can be expressed if effort is put.
Okay, so maybe it's really the way I see it, because even though, of course, when I'm cleaning or whatever, I get tired and I want to rest. I don't see it as. I see it as different from
it's just
the
like
stress
it's just like me saying
when I used to work 9 to 5.
It's just like me saying that I don't. You know what goes behind the scenes in preaching or leading. I don't see it as I'm working hard, but I know
that is work.
Oh, I know. I never complain about it.
There's a missing link. What are the things you looked out for in a relationship?
I never complain about it. I never go like, oh, I'm working. And people tell me, how do you do all this stuff? How do you do this? How do you do that? But if you're going to be sincere with yourself,
I get what you're saying as well. I get what you're saying and I get what I'm saying. So what's that missing link? Maybe it's the toil thing. But it really does sound scary.
It's the toil when people make it seem as if it's one disastrous encounter.
And it sounds like when they say that, the picture that comes to mind is so many things have happened bad in the marriage, so you have to work hard to now make it work. Maybe there's been infidelity in the marriage, or someone has lost a child, or a husband has beat somebody, so you have to make sure that you work hard so those things won't happen.
The benefit, that's a part of it as well. The benefit is like the day you buy the car is not all there is to the car. You need to work hard to protect it, install security systems. The tire will spoil. You got to fix the tire. And sometimes the tires go get bad.
But I think I would personally just settle for intentionality that can be demanding, if you will. I'll just leave me in that place, because when I hear that,
there's nothing wrong with it. My difference is that there's nothing wrong with hard work. In fact,
there's nothing wrong with work, but the way, you know how it's the same way someone can tell you, yeah, shut up, and another person tell you shut up, and the two shut ups are not the same. Or someone say you're mad, another person say you're mad.
So for me, the fact that somebody is saying the shut up in a bad way does not mean that I shouldn't shut up. If you get what I'm saying. Like, an example is like when someone says, ministry is tough, ministry is difficult, you have to.
You see, that's another thing. But that's been a perfect example.
The truth is, ministry is tough.
Yes, but Peter, your reality, your experience, and your orientation about it makes you live above certain of these things that people are talking about. It's not your reality.
No. Sometimes it is. Sometimes ministry is tough. But guess what? I'm tougher. So ministry is hard work, but I'm a hard worker.
No, Peter, are you using English too?
No, we're saying the same thing. Because let me tell you why. The reason I would say is, I'll tell you a couple of things, right? I'll tell you a couple of things. And I'm going to be very honest with everybody who's watching this. We are not, the principles we share are universal, the things we share are universal. But if we're going to be honest, our setup is not the most common.
Yeah,
not everybody has 5 years dating before they get married. Not everybody started listening to singles tapes when they were 13 or 14. Not everybody got saved at 9. Not everybody started leading a fellowship at 11, informal fellowship. It's not a usual setup. So if I'm going to be counseling people and I now say, don't worry, ministry is not, or let me even say ministry, I'm saying marriage is not hard work. I might be unwittingly giving that person
realistic.
I'm telling you. So
I get that.
Ministry, and people are like, you do it so easily. Well, I'm tough on myself personally. So because I'm tough on myself personally, my training exceeds my assignment. And whenever your training exceeds your assignment, what people call hard work will be easy work for you.
I think the bottom line for me now at this point is your marriage can be good, it can be interesting, it can be loving,
absolutely,
and it can be lasting, but you need to set the right foundations. It's not just going to happen. It's not just going to happen. You need to, like you said, you need to learn, you need to do the work now, so that when you now get into the marriage, what now looks to a lot of people like scary or demanding, you kind of make it easy, even though you are still doing the intentionally demanding things, not hard work. It's okay, I'm with you.
Jessica Judua says,
what are the things you looked out for in a relationship?
Okay, let me take some comments on what we said so far. Faith Kennedy said, hard work, not toil. Wow, that's a revelation there. You need to put in effort but not struggle through it. Absolutely. Kennedy Jubala said, does it get frustrating? Okay, that's a question. Okay, there's a question.
Where are you reading from? Okay.
Here. What were the things you looked out for in a relationship? For me, number one, I had to be a child of God, not just general God-fearing. In fact, the way my wiring was, I couldn't even, of course, maybe I admired or maybe even crushed on people that I told my wife something.
My husband had crushes.
Even crushed on and crushes. On people that were not God's children by faith in Jesus Christ. But it never crossed my mind that we're going to be together. Never. My framing was that this person had to be a child of God. Not only, good to see you, Rosemont. You're welcome. Faith Kennedy, good to see you. Kalawale David, is that Pastor David Kalawale? Oh, from Takeover Generations, an amazing man. He was one that gave me that. Amazing man. Yeah.
Hi, Muiwa. Good evening. Good to see you.
My guy. Muiwa, how are you doing? So, help me here.
Sorry, in-house.
No, I'll get it.
You're wiring, crushing.
So yeah, and I never thought, thank you. I never thought in my mind that I was going to, I was telling my wife about somebody, a really, really fine girl, because not as fine as my wife, but a really fine girl that I had a crush on, and I thought that she had a crush on me.
Alas.
Alas. But anyway, it never crossed my mind I was going to marry anybody that was not born again, spirit-filled, sanctified, washed in the blood of the Lamb. Never crossed my mind because of my framing. And that's important. Number two, she had to be so beautiful because generally I just like fine things. Generally, it's not just girls. And when I say not just girls, I don't mean boys. But if I see a handsome, I go like, oh, this guy is handsome. I appreciate stuff like that. I like nice things. I love nice spaces. So I don't, what's the word? Go out of my way to invest in expensive things or whatever, but I have a healthy appreciation for nice things. So she has to be very beautiful, beautiful to the point where ladies say she's beautiful. So anyway, so that's number two. Says, how can that be number two? Well,
it's number two. It's number two.
And then the person needed to be complementary or supplementary, preferably complementary, but also supplementary to my purpose. And there are two different dimensions. Supplementary means that the person can do the things I can do on a level that enhances what I do. Complementary is the person can do certain things I cannot do, which is another issue I had with my wife. At some point, when I say issue, one of the points of, you're complaining I don't do these things. I felt that you were in my life to complement these things, because when the Bible says they help me, there are two dimensions, complementary and supplementary. The person needs to have a touch point with a part of your life that is enough. So for example, when it comes to a car, the tires are somewhat supplementary. They're a part of the car. So without the tires, the car cannot really, or let me say the back tires. Let me say one of the tires. So the car can move without all the tires, but you need 4 tires. That's supplementary. But the fuel is complementary. The car doesn't have fuel by itself. Cars don't produce their own fuel. So the person needs to have a mix of it. So I write, she writes. I speak, she speaks. Those are supplementary things. But then the complementary things, I speak so fast. She wants me to break it down. that's something that her complementary nature has now helped me, amongst other influences, to be able to do. For me, you just need to get things like this and let's get it moving. Yeah. But then I tell her stuff and she'll be like, okay, do you mean this? Are you explaining this? Okay, how about this? And all of that. So the person needs to have all of that. And well, the other things are many, like certain levels of reasoning. Like I don't do very well with people that don't think fast. Well, I didn't used to do very well.
For me, honestly, judging by where I was, because I could say this and that, but the truth about it, thinking about it critically, is that I didn't have any expectation of the person I should be with. Why do I say this? Yes. Why do I say it? Because I'd been with different types of people that did not fit into who I know I was supposed to get married to. So obviously I wasn't looking out for much. And that's one thing. And that's one thing that and I know I've spoken to a couple of ladies about this recently. We have the list. We have gone to the seminar. But sometimes we still end up with a guy that is nothing like the list. Because we are carried away by feelings carried away by the need to be in a relationship and thinking that, okay, but he has this and that, right? So people say things like, oh, I met him at a club, but he's so nice. So he's even nicer than some guys in church. So I'm like, that's not the point, right? So I didn't have expectations at that time. But when I met him, and this is where praying and for other steps is very important. Because if I hadn't met him and I have made a couple of more mistakes, well, God forgive me, not all the guys I was with were actually bad guys. Yeah. So let me not call them mistakes. Yeah. 1, 2 of them were, but yeah. Yeah. But
they were not good. They were good, but not necessarily good for you or your assignment or your future and all of that.
A child is coming in, so just welcome. A child is coming? No, I'll be back.
Can you hear that? Now, this is part of the hard work of marriage.
And you are wet.
We gotta take care of a whole family.
Let me give you one to write. Okay, sit down. I'm coming, guys.
Sorry, my wife is taking care of one of the boys.
You're so wet right now.
One of the boys.
I'm going to be cold here. Come on, sit here so you won't be cold. Sit down here so you won't be cold.
All right. So while she's coming, she needs to talk about that. Very, very important. Okay.
Okay. So other steps, because if he hadn't come, I wouldn't have known the things I needed. And it wasn't as if I didn't know, because like he said, I'd been going to singles meetings. I was born again and all. But when I met him, I realized some things were just non-negotiable. And so one of them, I definitely need, and I'm going to ask you about that question. I definitely needed a man who could lead, because, I'd been in these relationships with the other guys, and even I was with them, but I couldn't see where they were taking me. But I'm just like, okay, since all the men I've seen are not really going anywhere, so maybe like destination is really nowhere. Maybe I'm the one not seeing things right. But when he came and then he was just a friend or an acquaintance, and it looked like he was actually going somewhere, like, can I see this road? Where are we going? And so definitely leadership, godly leadership was very important to me. Friendship, someone that I was socially compatible with, someone that I was physically compatible with. Call your brother. Tell your brother that we are in the office.
Sorry, you gotta sit there because he's likely to write on the thing. Can you make your through?
It's too cold down there. He won't write.
Right in front. He will. This child, he has a writing anointing.
Please,
can you sit there? Sorry, guys. The beauties of marriage.
Come to the office. Come to the office.
Why do you want to sit here? Do you want to sit here? We have a pencil instead. If we have a pencil. Cam, why are you crying?
Sorry, guys.
Yes, so you can verify and listen to the message that.
Okay. So I'm not sure why he's still crying when I've told him where I am. Hi, Tinu. How are you doing? Okay. So the leadership, the first someone I was socially, I didn't want to have to go out with someone that I wasn't proud of. Either you can speak well. Speaking was very important to me, and that's also to say because people now
Please
ask that.
go and bring your brother.
Are my standards too high? If I want someone to smell nice or speak well, those things are not bad, right? So someone that could speak well, dressed well, like go to public with, and I wouldn't be embarrassed. Someone that, when I say physically compatible, I don't mean like we're having sex, but someone that was actually attracted to physically, right? And then intellectual compatibility as well. Someone that could actually teach me more. Yeah, and it's generally someone that could make me better. I don't think I was even looking for too much, but I just knew that I wanted a marriage that was heaven and earth. And yeah, I found this with him. I also wanted a guy that was teachable as well. Okay, so someone say welcome to Ronil. You don't have
Why
to
are you
cry.
crying?
You don't have to. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Why are you crying? You're looking for me.
Well, you know where we are.
Someone that was teachable, not a man who wouldn't listen and say his word is here and amen, and not listening at all. Okay, here you go. You can go with your brother. Go watch too.
Sorry, guys. This is all part of it being live. Carmen, do you want to say hello before you go? Come say hello.
No.
All right, no problem.
Like,
please.
No.
Up you go. Can you go up as well?
Okay.
So if you've been following us
nice
for a
to
while,
see you.
Rizzo, you know that we're two.
It's not Rizzo. It's his sister.
Ore.
Oh, I thought I saw Ife Olua. Oh,
well, you said Ore.
In my head, I saw Ife, so that's what.
So we're 2 and now we're 4. See, multiplication.
Okay, I'm trying to look for the next question.
Oh yeah, let's take some more questions because of time.
I saw a question about sharing of house chores. Is it about preference or necessity? It's about necessity.
Another thing.
It's about necessity. I don't like to wash sometimes. But I have to wash. He doesn't necessarily like to lay bed all the time, but he doesn't necessarily like to change diapers, especially people diapers. But sometimes you just have to. So it's more about necessity than preference. It's more about necessity and preference. Sometimes, a few times, I don't know if it's that he likes to iron or he's better at ironing. So he would iron, or I would give him my clothes to iron. But generally speaking, it's more about what needs to be done now, has more time at that moment, who has more disposable energy, who's not too tired, who didn't just wake up 2 minutes ago. Especially
now. Before it was the maid was doing most of it, almost all of it. But this particular season, this particular time,
Nanny isn't here because I don't have a living nanny. So
yeah, and we don't want to expose ourselves to people coming in and out and all of that. So, any other questions?
Kenya Jubala, for this list matter, I need to get my book because that's the whole message. So I dedicated like almost the whole first chapter of my book to the lists. The list matter. Pidams, okay, I can do that now. How are you?
But why are you crying, Mr. Man?
Can you come and show me what you're crying about? Let me do it for you. Okay. So any other question, guys?
Any other question? Any other question?
Who wants to watch?
Ask one question. Okay, please, if we skipped your question, could you help us repost it? The Cara Fever.
You have to share with your brother.
The Cara Fever. Important lessons you've learned about marriage. You have to be married for 6 years. Yeah. Important lessons.
Number my anytime, any day, my best lesson is you and your spouse are on the same team. If there's anybody trying to break it off, is an enemy.
Absolutely.
So whenever there's an issue, you are addressing the issue and not attacking the person. So you need to isolate the issue
from the mix.
From the person, and then address the issue. Don't fight the person, because at the end of the day, what you need is that unity and that togetherness, so that you can do 6 years and 60 years. Because if you now attack the person, it's going to be a long ride.
It's a very big a corollary to that thought is that you have to be willing to change. You cannot be married and remain. You should not be married and remain the same. If you marry and you remain the same, is a waste of that covenant. Is a waste of that person in your life, because marriage by definition was designed to change you, not in a bad way, but to help you grow into what you will never have become without the presence of that person in your life. And it takes a lot of humility, sincerity, simplicity of heart to accept that and to allow that be the case. So we use the example of sharpening iron sharpens iron. So does a man sharpen countenance of his friend. And so part of what happens when iron is sharpening iron is a part of each metal is being grated off. And that's important, which means a part of me has to be shaved off. Now, the iron does not melt the other iron. It's not iron melting the iron. That, because people cannot recognize you anymore. We don't know what happened to her. What happened to her? She got married. No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that there should be commensurate, significant transformation in your life, in your process. Maybe the way you think, sometimes the way you think, or sometimes it's how you approach a matter, sometimes how fast you deal with something or how slow you deal with something. So the willingness to change. And that's why it's a very powerful picture of your walk with God, Christ and the church. You can't say Christ is in my life and I didn't change.
Yeah.
It's just that it's just very similar. There are people that say, I'm born again, but there's no change. So that means that you're either not born again or you are a baby. So it's only babies in marriage that have not changed. Means I got married, I've never changed. Either you're not married, that means you're not sold out to the person.
Yeah.
Or you are being selfish. Any believer that has not been transformed by God is selfish, because the transformation process makes you more selfless, which means that you must be willing to surrender your preferences, your own concepts and ideas, and then work with where you are. I think I posted something yesterday on Instagram. Funny enough, I was going to teach the leaders earlier today, but I didn't touch on it. And what I wrote was something like, anytime God commits something into your care, I don't know whether you saw it, God comes into your hand, an opportunity, a responsibility, an assignment, and you don't give it your best because in your mind you think you deserve better. You're inadvertently insulting God by suggesting to him that he's not smart enough to know what you truly deserve. The moment you say yes to that man, and heaven has stamped it, angels have stamped it, whatever it is you are praying for outside, turn it to intercession. To come inside, right? So that's why my wife keeps talking about choose well, open your eye and choose well. Now, that's why for me, I don't wish for a better wife. I don't wish I had a better wife. I don't wish I had a better congregation. I don't wish I had a better ministry. I don't wish I had a better message, And it takes, sometimes she got married. When it's like, what happened to her? Oh, she got married. Yeah. So I don't wish so. And once you deal with that also, it also helps you handle envy, jealousy, competition. And I think I was telling my wife a couple of months ago now, that in dealing with people, my father today's my dad's birthday. My daddy is my best daddy. And it's not just, I'm not psyching myself. It's coming from a place of, I know God loves me enough to have given me the best. Now,
it's really about how you see it and deal with it and treat.
So best doesn't mean that more cannot come out. That's not what best is. Because in the Hebrew, when the Bible says that God saw the what he made was good, that good there is premium. Perfect. But he still gave that man a helper. So you can be given the best, and your role in their life is to help them manifest more of the bestness. There's no word like bestness. But more of the besticism that they have in their lives.
Right. So someone asked, because we need to start wrapping up apparently.
Where's the wrapping shit, folks?
Someone asked, some things we didn't know before. So do you mean we didn't know before we got married? Or we didn't know about each other when we got married, or what? What do you think? Things you didn't know, things you didn't know before you got married?
That's a broad. Could you help us
help us streamline,
taper it down?
Okay. At what stage did you both tell your parents about your dating relationship? When was the ready stage?
Somebody's about to go and let them know. That's that question now. That question is like, are we there yet?
Oh my goodness.
That's a question.
So I think I met you in March in 2008. And
wow.
by August, September, we really started talking. I was going to say intimately, but that sounds good. Yeah,
closely.
So I think the first time you came to my house was in December 2008 of that same year. It was Christmas.
What 2008 I came to your house?
Yeah, it couldn't have been the next year.
Okay, because yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I think probably.
And I met
a couple of months before that, maybe a month or two before that. People started hearing Pastor Dami. So I hadn't explicitly said, "Oh, this is the guy I like," or "He's my boyfriend," or anything. Or actually, we're not even officially going out at that point, because we didn't start officially going out till the next year, 2009 March. So they already knew. So by the time he came to the house in December, people now knew, because I don't think I brought apart from the other guy. I didn't bring any other guy home before. So I guess people already now knew, okay, you're bringing him home on a special day, Christmas, you are serving food, you are sitting next to and everything. So by the time we were official in March of the next year, I didn't really have to categorically say, oh, he's not my boyfriend. It just kind of just waltzed into it, because he was the only person they were hearing from my mouth anyway. And the only person that was coming to the house. So yeah. I didn't categorically say he's my boyfriend, but I don't know about you. How did it work for you, really?
So I don't remember exactly when I told my parents about you. I don't remember when, but I remember that my parents had asked, how far? And I mean, even thinking about it right now, it's interesting that they were asking me how far. And it wasn't from a place of pressure. That's one thing I like about my parents. They never pressured me about anything, but they would ask, okay, who's the person, who are you looking at, or whatever. I think I'm trying to remember how my dad said it. My dad was something like, and it was almost like, so who are you looking at? Or who are
That's so weird. I can't even imagine having that conversation
or something like that. And it said, oh, time. And I'm just trying to think in my mind that I was still really in my mid-20s at this time. So why would they really? But I guess in their minds, they already saw that, okay, you had some measure of stability or light or whatever. So I told them after I come to
my own house.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So it must have been early 2009, because I know that by the time I went for the debaters around September, everybody was, because we went for someone's wedding.
We went for a sister's wedding, but that was September, in November.
Oh, when I was in debaters. Did you go?
No, I didn't go for that wedding.
Okay, so it wasn't that year, it was the full year. So by the time we were going for debaters, they already knew you met them at the debaters. Okay, no, you traveled, so they didn't come. But
I met your family at Ife's wedding for the first time.
So that's 2010.
No, where was your ordination? That was the first time I met your mom.
2010.
The ordination was 2009, I believe it was.
Okay,
so I met them in 2009.
Oh yeah, okay, so they already knew.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So all in all, within months, it wasn't up to a year that both families knew. Within long months, if we met in March,
and you met my parents and me,
and you had told them before that.
Yeah.
So maybe about
like a year, really. Must have
a little less than
before. For me, a year.
Yeah. For me, a little less than. Okay. What are the problems you face while courting and in marriage, and how did you tackle them?
I'm so sorry, guys. If you see me look at my phone, I'm just quite a number of things, but I'm fully with you.
Okay, so I think I've spoken about this ever so often. My only major issue, well, actually, at some point, and it wasn't an issue, at some point, I just thought my husband used to dress too official.
Okay, before we go.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Especially because of, let's talk about it, but he would always wear a formal shirt and pants, like black trousers, not even chinos or jeans, like uniform trousers, suit trousers. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's going on now? If we're going for party, birthday, anyhow, you wear formal shirts, and So I'm like, he can't continue like this. Now he has even now overpassed me. He went from suit and tie to just formal shirt and trouser, changed from that to formal shirt and jeans, and then he just went.
Oh yeah.
He went now entered the waistcoats. After the waistcoats,
I think I ever said on the leadership.
After that waistcoat, that was it. Right. So that for me, that was the basic.
I think that was a major.
Yeah, so I'm just like, where Polo now? But that wasn't the major thing. The major thing was the whole issue of I felt my husband was very opinionated at some point. It was a major issue for me. I felt my voice wasn't being heard. I felt that everything I said, he always have something better to say. Sometimes I would just feel stupid. Why did I even bring up the issue at all? Let me just keep quiet. I know sometimes for us women, we know what we want to say. But when the thing is boiling and you know you're making sense in your head, but when it's coming out, it's sounding like nonsense. And the person will just say, what are you saying? And you'll not... So I was just like, what's going on? So a couple of things happened. And I'm just like, you know what? I really cannot deal with this. So is that I take a break or you change or I can't. So I think obviously at that point he was also going through the issue with me, which he mentioned earlier on, where I would always react to things quickly. I was quite sensitive and touchy. So I'd be moody for days until he has really, really apologized and he has really, really spoken about it. Some things that could just take one line out of an apology, I would want a whole thesis and a whole discussion about it. And he's not really about that. Sorry, I love you, you love me.
Part of why it used to pain me, a couple of things. One of them was I get over stuff easily once I get it out. So in my mind, everybody should just
be like that. But I'm not like that. Even till now, I'm not like that. But I'm a lot better.
So in my mind, but that's what I'm saying about you can't have a fulfilled marriage just thinking about. You can't model the world after yourself. Yeah. Except you're Thanos.
Everybody's not like you.
Except you're Thanos of.
But even the Thanos, if you still destroy the world and destroy people that you're supposed to be enjoying.
So that's one. Number two, which was also a deep one, is that for me, time is very important.
Cannot be spending time.
So when you're spending time, reconciling time, it's just like you're wasting my time. That's where I was feeling like. Because I've been time conscious. When I say time, I mean like are you time conscious? Not necessarily in meetings. I'm saying like life. What are we doing now? So from maybe like 18, 20. So getting to meet my wife 20 something. Can't remember 23, 24. So and having all that
back and forth. I think what eventually happened was I went for NYC camp and it was like, okay, let's use this one as break. You told you, if you know you're going to continue being moody, just do it in this camp if this relationship is going to work. Oga, by the time I come back, when I talk, and allow me and everything. But I think what happened in between that time was realize that we missed each other a lot and we really loved each other.
So we didn't even follow
through on any nonsense break. I was coming home like every other day. He was calling me, we're not supposed to see at all that period. We're seeing, it was just
breakers.
So I think the main point for us at the end of the day, that we were more important to ourselves than these things we were doing.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know what, which one are you going to choose? So
choose you this day, whom you will fight.
So it kind of just dropped because I believed that he was more important than my need to be overly satisfied. So at that time I had to start taking sorry and swallowing it with water.
But the issues were, and I started paying closer attention.
Yeah.
So the thing is that we didn't gloss over it. The issues were addressed.
Yeah.
But I think I mentioned this to B and a couple of people a while ago. I said what we must know. Okay, I think I remember. It was when I made that video about the let's address this matter, and also quite a number of sensitive issue I was dealing with. So quite a number of pastors were like, "Yes, great. Somebody said, if I were you, I won't have been that nice." Somebody else said, you should have made it a little hotter. And I said this. I said, we need to realize that the truth is powerful enough for it to drive itself, right? That because the truth is powerful, you don't want to contaminate it with fragments of your own sentiments, peculiarities, overtures, and all of that. So it's very important that in addressing issues, say it as it is, but not more than it is.
Mm.
Because, like I say often, everything assumes its real value in the face of death, in the light of death. If, God forbid, they tell you that your partner, your lover, your fiance, your boyfriend, girlfriend is sick in the hospital right now.
All the fights
How
we're having
important
to dissolve.
Yeah.
Away.
How important. So when people say things like you deal with sensitive issues in a very mature way, it's because I've come to realize that the truth itself is so potent and so powerful that when you now start trying to prove and I think it's not that thing, not your excessiveness, because people will remember your anger long after the truth you've delivered. So some truths require a certain measure of anger, but not to the point where you put D on the anger and becomes danger.
And then they miss the message or lose out of it altogether. I think it's also important to realize that people are coming from somewhere, and there's a why, there's a reason.
Something rubs people off in a certain way.
There's a reason somebody is a particular way. So you need to also understand that and address that as well. So as going through that time with my boyfriend at the time, I realized that this guy has been a pastor and leader since he was 17, 18, 19. People have been calling him sir for a long time. He's been giving orders. When I say orders, not like he was a dictator or anything. So he was used to that. Not from a bad place. He wasn't a bad person, but he needed to understand that you're not in a different kind of setting. You're in a relationship. I can always say you're in a relationship so you can relate. If you're not relating and you're just talking, then it's not a relationship. Yeah. So he had to learn that, okay, you're now in a relationship and you're not with a guy, you're with a girl and you're with a sensitive girl. So there's a way to address her. And then I had to also learn my own lessons as well. I knew where I had to even dig deep to find out where I was coming from. Why was I moody? Why was I sensitive? Yeah. Why was I reacting? Why was I taking a long time to come out of it? I found the reason, and once I was able to break out of that, then it was easier to love and receive the love.
It's important for me to say, and I know you mentioned it, but there's a lesson I want to draw. That's why I'm pointing to it. I believe I was the first person that mentioned that thing about me being a leader and whatever. I think I was the first person to say it. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because just like you said, you now discovered why you were. What most people don't do in a relationship is they don't sit down to ask themselves, where is this thing coming from? That's why I'm pitching. I'm not just saying I said it because of that. Where is it coming from? I studied at the point I said is because I've been a leader for a long time. That's the reason. And it wasn't an issue of me trying to work you up or trying to get on your nerves. Sometimes, let me tell you what happens. What happens is many of us dump the frustration of our lack of growth on our partners. Not realizing that our partners are mirrors reflecting something we ought to have dealt with. So the reason you're attacking, don't attack the mirror, adjust your image. Don't attack the mirror, adjust your image. So the person you're in a relationship with, oftentimes, they mirror the image they're bouncing off is what you're giving to them.
Yeah.
So they're just helping you to identify exactly what it is that you should have dealt with, that you did not deal with. But now in your relationship, you are being presented as the thing about relationship is that all your flaws are going to be presented before you. Now, whether you admit it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you're cool with it or not is a different issue. But if you're really going to grow, at some point you have to sit down, introspect, be honest with yourself, and say, there have been things that my wife has said for years, and I'll be like, that thing you said is actually true. It's just now that I'm beginning to realize it. So for me, I'm not even bothered about it. Why? Because if you're going to marry somebody for life, it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's not like making Eba. A good marriage is not like making Eba.
No, that's nice.
You have a question there.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't want us to mix up.
Yeah, so the next question was from P-Dams. Okay,
So,
P-Dams, if I remember correctly, you said LT was with someone before you asked her to be in a relationship with you. Is it okay to still ask a lady for a relationship if she's currently in one? Okay, so yes, I was with someone
But
So, like we said earlier on, he didn't ask me out to come in. What? Bring it. Can you
come
stop crying?
over here and
Can you
get
stop
it
crying?
sorted out.
If
man.
you don't stop crying, I'll take my phone. What do you say? You're welcome. So, like we said earlier on, so Pete and we didn't officially start going out till a year after we met. So there was just the talking and realize that, oh, I like you and you like me. So me by myself, I went to break up with the guy. And it was the funniest breakup in the whole of history because he was asking me why we were breaking up and I didn't have a reason to give him. Pete had not asked me out. I didn't even know for sure. I mean, I knew we were going to be together, but I mean, I didn't know when it was going to happen. We hadn't categorically spoken about it, but I just like, I've seen the light, and I just like, this relationship I'm in is not it. Even if I'm not going to be with this guy, this is not the relationship. So I broke up with the guy, and I can't remember what I said. All I know that his friend called me a few minutes later and asked, Toju, what have you done? And I couldn't really explain it. I couldn't even tell them about him because it's not that I was cheating and I wasn't in a relationship with him. Yes. I was not with him. I knew I liked him.
Fast approaching.
I knew I liked him, but there was nothing defined. So it was a very weird breakup. So we're not officially together, but we're already liking each other.
Yeah.
So I broke up with that guy. And no, I do not subscribe to you. You can tell the person you like them, funny enough, but give them their space. So it's not as if you are influencing their decision to break up with the person.
Even if you're a kingdom influencer.
Not if you're influencing their decision to break up with the person, or you are the reason the person broke up with the other person. Now, even if that other person's relationship is rocky, let them break up a natural breakup.
Yeah.
Or even if it's because of you, that she likes you or he likes you, let them break up, but still give it time before you guys now come back together. It's very important. Yeah. So it's not as if you guys were already cheating before. It's not that you are rebound. So that you guys have a clear head. You are coming together for yourselves, not because you want emotional, but an emotional buffer, emotional buffer for the relationship. So that you guys are clear in your thinking and you get to know yourselves for yourselves, not as someone who just left a relationship.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, really important.
Very, very important as well. I think we should take 2 more questions.
How do you build a strong mindset on the exact kind of marriage he or she wants when the marriage close to you are not the kind you desire? It's very important, and I get that. You need to
strong mindset. Okay.
If you don't have good examples around you, or you're not very pleased with the examples you have around you, now it might not be that they're bad or any fault of theirs. If they know better, they will do better, right? You need to intentionally create your own world. Yeah. You need to intentionally create the kind of world you want to see. So for me, thankfully, I was led to a good church that had good pastors. And from there, it changed my whole perception about marriage, because up till then I wasn't sure how marriage was going to work. I was sure that marriages break up, that's normal. Marriages go through stuff ahead, that's normal. You just have to accept it, you just have to endure and all of that. But when I met them, it changed everything. That even if there might be challenges in your marriage, it changed everything for me. So I started going to church more often, started listening to messages more often, buying tapes more often, going for seminars more often. Now I was young, I was in my teens and maybe early 20s. I didn't really get the full weight of it all. But as I started my journey in the relationship with him, things will come to mind. I'll be able to apply them. I will understand them better. So it was a solid...
There was a bank to draw from.
Exactly. So I was just depositing. I didn't know when I was going to spend the money, on who I was going to spend the money and all of that. But when the situations arose, if there was a lady he was with that didn't know any of these things, the relationship would have been further strained unnecessarily. But I had solid rock to stand on and a wisdom buffer to lean on. So that it is very important. If you're going to get them as mentors from afar or close to you, it's important.
Yeah, you need a picture.
So it changes the internal picture you had prior to that time.
It's very, very important.
Extremely.
And let me even just mention something. Don't hesitate to spend money, time, energy to be proximus to the preferred picture you have for your future.
I said, yes, you posted that post yesterday holding a flower. How do you now?
Yes, now that went good, coming something to your hands. So business, marriage, ministry, don't hesitate to spend time, energy, money to be around that space is very important. I'll tell you what, going by the Bible, the children of Israel had a promise from God, but they could not even enter into it until they paid the price of proximity. In fact, this is a very powerful one for somebody. I might want to write it down. Pay the price for proximity. You've got to learn to pay the price for proximity. Let me tell you what part of the price for proximity is. When you're around people that you love, admire, you want to learn from, sometimes they'll do things that you don't like, but you know why you're there.
Yeah.
Elijah and Elisha. There's actually something that I must have told my wife. There's something that my pastor actually said to me maybe two things I remember. So let me just share one of them. And they're not bad. I can't share the other one, but let me share one of them. One of them was that my pastor said, when you're hooping, you just don't hoop so much. You know, you're not a musician. You know, you're not, Now, if I had held on to that, songs like I'm Not Alone, and by the way, as at that time, I was never thinking about singles or whatever. But now people are sending messages of, I didn't commit suicide because I've listened to this song and all of that. So sometimes your mentors, your pastors, your leaders, your models will say things or do things that can be hurtful, but you know why you're there. So you stay there. If you get what I'm saying, that's part of the price, because people always think the price is, I need to go and sign up for a coaching program. Of course, if you have to, definitely do.
But I don't think he was even saying it from a bad place. He was just saying
No, he wasn't saying it. I'm just saying that statements like that
can be seen
out of care, out of even concern, out of even I want the best for you. Some of the most hurtful statements are well-intentioned or well-intended. And that's what makes it painful sometimes, But I just wanted to put it there that paying the price for proximity is not always. Let me give you an example. So 2 spies were sent to the promised land and they saw giants. Do you know that 12 spies came, 10 spies came and said, there are giants in the land. I am almost sure, and this is a conjecture, so then it's not necessarily a preach point, but I'm almost sure that out of the 10, some of them would have said, now, wow, for this Moses, he wants to kill us. He wants to set us up. He wants to set us up for death. That's why, you see. Meanwhile, I'm exposing you to your future. So there are certain things that your mentors or your models or your pastors, if you get close enough, certain statements that might hurt your ego or certain assignments you'll be given that you'll be like, this below me. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I believe it's for somebody. This is below me, or this is not why I'm in your life, I beg. But that proximity, part of paying the price is surrendering your ego and allowing,
Okay, so 2 more questions. Speed on second. Somebody that doesn't know his purpose be thinking of marriage. I don't think it's a very good idea.
It's not ideal and it's not advisable.
Yeah, because you don't even know. You're like, this is not.
It's like if your purpose is to be an astronaut and then her purpose is to be an Okada person, where are you going to meet? Is there Astro Okada? Okada astronaut? Okada not?
I'd say what does it mean for a person to be whole before getting into a relationship?
Simply put, it's when you have come to a place where the impressions and experiences of your past have no longer colored or are no longer coloring your expectations of the future. Let me just put it as simple as that. Impressions and impact of negative or past experiences are no longer altering. It's like when you've taken toothpaste, a lot of toothpaste, and you eat rice. You can't taste the rice because of the toothpaste. That tongue is not whole.
All right.
Mr. Tekwe was on the call.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for coming.
Please help me know that I'm inside the real life with you people.
How do we intentionally get better? Miriam, do you mean with speech? With speech, I think
both eloquent.
I think I'm intentional about it. First of all, I like the sound of it. I like the sound of it. I think somewhere in my head, I also know that I'm not just speaking to Nigerians. I'm speaking to an international audience. So I try. I grew up listening to Joke Silva a lot. So I really liked her. Yeah, I really liked her. So I'm like, me safe. My mom did a very good job. Very good job. Every time we say things, it's not things, it's things. And so it just stuck. right? And then I was privileged to go to a couple of finishing schools, which further helped.
So it's good. But let me just encourage that person and anybody else who's listening. Anything you admire is an indication of something you contain or carry in a certain element or dimension. Because for you to recognize it, that means that there is something that speaks to it on the inside of you that can either complement or supplement it. So for example, if you're very big about music, if you like music, you might not be the greatest singer, but you might be a songwriter, you might be a promoter, you might be a musician, you might be a muse, you might be a critic, you might be a blogger, music blogger. If you love people that speak eloquently, it means there's a seed in you that can either speak eloquently or has something to do with communication. So there's a part of that thing on the outside that is speaking to what you have inside of you. So that's one. Number two is, to be fair, I think that both of us are naturally gifted in communication. We're teachers, we're communicators, we're speakers. Yeah, but get what my wife said though, finishing school. Whatever you have in this world that you really want to move to the next level, you have to be willing to invest in it, to polish it. So take out time, energy, money, polish it. So I didn't go to finishing school and all of that, but something I used to do way back from secondary school, I used to read a dictionary or check dictionary.
I still do that.
Times
I still do that. But even sometimes when we pronounce someone like, is that the
Differently.
pronunciation of the word? Oh, yeah, let's hear audio dictionary. And I'm like, oh.
So
that's how we found out that it's not
important.
aluminium, it's aluminum.
Aluminum, yeah.
Yeah, so my husband says mature, and I'm like, who says mature? What is mature? It's a check dictionary.
Machete. It's not machete.
It will surprise you. So really and truly, little things, simple things, just scroll through, just Google, just search words up, things you hear, and like, this is how this word is pronounced, I didn't know. And then just check it up and then add it to your vocabulary bank, and then gradually you find that you're improving. Okay, this is my own last question. Are you supposed to, as a guy, declare your marriage intentions, like I want to marry, at the initial stage of getting to know a lady? I don't think so. So when you say initial stage, like when you just meet her, no. I think that might...
Some people suggest that too, that you should just shoot your shot straight and let the girl know you're serious.
I think when you are not close friends, but when you are friendly, when you have built a rapport, then yes, early on in the stage of rapport, yes, not like meet you and second day, I really want to marry you and settle down with you, that's why I'm here. It might scare her off, like, why are you kinny? But even if you want to say that, let it not be like an exam or like a...
Of course. I think that...
The Lord has spoken to me that
you don't get spooky on this thing.
Yeah.
I think that... And the reason...
I really think there should have been a rapport, because if a stranger meets me today, even if he's nice, and he tells me tomorrow he wants to marry me... It
works different ways. Some people like it, because it depends on the girl's journey as well. If this girl has been with 3 people that came subtly and slow, sweet and gentle, and
at the end of the day, still didn't.
So it depends. But let me tell you the dignity of that. The dignity of that is not just in you making promises. The dignity of that is you being clear about what your intentions are. You're not in somebody's life to waste their time, because that thing is what causes bitterness, which now causes the hearts of ladies to get hard and then leaves them in a poorer state for the next relationship. And this is the reason many marriages suffer. Many hearts are not going to marriages whole. Many hearts are going kicked, baked, faked. Many hearts is a very, very serious issue.
Say, hey, so that
for so many people,
okay, are you telling Uche to come and start speaking right? Look who's talking.
So for many people, they never enter into the marriage whole. Why? Because they're like, finally I'm married, but they've been fragmented, they've been fractured, they've been wounded, they've been damaged, they've been mishandled, they've been betrayed, they've been raped. So
Oge is actually concurring that she actually likes that kind of honesty.
Yeah, I know, because some people are just tell me. So some people like it like that. But I do agree that there should be enough friendship. And I do agree that in declaring, making your intentions known, you don't want to be a freaky spook.
Because even if, maybe we'll talk about him, I kind of get it. But if a guy comes to you today and says tells you tomorrow he wants to marry you, at that point you might just say no, because you don't even know about the guy and you're just freaked out about it. But what if that's not a real good guy that you might have liked or ended up with. But because he said it so suddenly and you know nothing about him.
And yeah, so that's why even as we're speaking, flexibility is something you need in a relationship, not just in a marriage. As a person, try to be open-minded, not so open-minded that your brains fall out, but broad-based enough to be able to accommodate eccentricities, differences and eccentricities, differences in people's approach and all of that. So,
okie dokie.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, so I think we'll call it a wrap. Let's know how this has touched you, what you learned. Share the link. I'm sure cumulatively we had a couple of hundreds of people jump in total. Yeah, but we'll do this again. We don't want to promise yet, but I think we should do this again. And maybe there's something we should have done in between the breaks of releasing those other videos. Yeah. So we'll do it again so we can interface real time with you, share from our hearts, address specific questions, maybe actually even theme them. We could start with every other month and then get a rhythm that makes it easier. No, I'm good. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I've actually had like 3 meetings back to back.
Yeah, it's been a long day. And I started to call my dad and do a post for him. I've been trying to look for pictures.
And we have online school tomorrow morning. And then I have to see my mom. And then I have another live session tomorrow. And then I have Master Life after that. So my tired is tired in advance. But we're good. We're moving.
So let me say thank you to my darling wife for 6 amazing, incredible, about 2,000 days of being with this guy, over 2,000 days actually, of being with this guy. Thank you for being a guy.
What are you doing? Are you dancing? Shakira dance. Thank you. Kiss now. If you want to kiss, kiss. If you want to kiss. Your wedding video is all over. So is it that one that you are now hiding 6 years after? I don't understand. Kiss a real kiss. Love you. See them. Uche. Uche, that's something else. Uche, you like love too much. You and Obi.
I know gay, you know.
All right. Thank you guys
so thank you.
Much.
If you joined in at some point later.
Screenshot this place.
Yeah.
Possible with a nice.
If you join this later than my gosh.
Shelly, why is your head popping?
Oh, people have taken the picture.
I know. I trust them. I was banking on it.
So if you jumped in later, that you didn't start with us, this is going to be on our channel. Yeah, so you can watch it over and over and over and over again. You can share it, post it, be a part of the conversation going on. We love you guys. We celebrate you. We pray for you. Can we just pray for everybody? Father, we just thank you so much for this amazing sons, daughters of yours, people who have come to celebrate you in us and to celebrate us in you. We're so delighted that you choose us as vessels and conduits of inspiration and encouragement and hope and light and life. And we thank you that these things that you're doing through us and in their own lives are way bigger than any of us could actually compute, capture, or add faith to their faith and pray peace upon their relationships.
Amen.
Their marriages are blessed.
Amen.
Their hearts are healed.
Amen.
Be there anyone who's weeping over the loss of a relationship, anyone who's stuck. I was thinking earlier today, and God showed me that certain people are stuck in different stages of life. Anyone who's stuck at a certain point of pain, of hurt, a hurdle of hurt, anyone who can't seem to get past something, you are the supernatural healer, redeemer, therapist, psychologist. You are greater than every profession that people turn to.
Yes.
So, Father, we turn their hearts to you, O Lord, through intercessory prayer today. And we ask, O Lord, that you move them beyond that point. They are bigger than that thing. They are bigger than that disappointment. They are bigger than that issue. They are bigger than all of those things. And that's the truth of God. And we release that truth over their lives right now. And we pray that they move with lightning speed, the cover lost ground in the name of Jesus. For those who have tried in different areas, those who have tried, they've given their best, but their best turned out not to be good enough. People who committed their hearts and their souls into other people's hands and they were wasted. Lord, we pray for restoration.
Amen.
Pray for healing, for peace in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Years from now, we will rejoice and celebrate not only godly marriages, but also beautiful children that are being raised as ambassadors to the next generation.
Amen.
We give you praise, O Lord, even beyond marriage and relationships. Be the other one here who's trusting you for provision, for protection, for promotion. We release that to them by faith of God.
Amen.
And for us as a family, we grow stronger.
Amen.
We're more vibrant.
Amen.
We live more fulfilling, enriching, and inspiring lives.
Amen.
In Jesus' name we have prayed.
Amen.
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 And amen.
Amen.
And amen. All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much. We love you. Don't forget to like the video. Some of you have watched, but you haven't liked it.
And subscribe.
Like the video and subscribe. When you like the video, it increases the algorithm favors the content a whole lot more when there's engagement. So, open declaration. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel so that next time we post something or we come on live, you are here with us. Bye. Sorry, guys. I need to take some pictures.
Oh.
No, I just want to take some pictures.
Okay.
Oh, but those lights were not. Oh, yeah, I knew that the lights in it. Let's do that.
But you have the screen grabs.
Yeah, but I just wanted something that be cinematic or dramatic. Can you smile? All right, so
Bye.
gotta close for real now. Bye. End the stream.